Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Practical Spirituality 101. It's nice to see you once again. So, today we'll be jumping right into the topic of African spirituality. What we aim to do here in this channel is to separate the misconceptions from the conceptions about African spirituality, the facts from the fictions, and the science from the superstition. So that is what we are going to be doing in this channel. And I'm very happy to announce that we have a new question. Somebody typed a question in the comment section about the origin of religion, which is a very good question, a very good subject for us to open up this channel with. So I'm very grateful for that, and I want to thank the presenter very much. First of all, the origin of religion. What is the origin of religion? If we trace this term back to the earliest period, we can find out that in ancient Africa, we don't really have what they call religion. We don't even know what it is. It does not exist in our culture, in our history. What we have is spirituality, which is simply a way of life. There's no big deal about it. You don't need to learn it. You just know it's an inborn trait in you. Just like you know that you wake up in the morning, you have to take your bath, you have to clean yourself up, you have to eat, you have to go out, you have to walk, you have to make peace with your neighbors, your friends and family, you have to take care of the environment, you have to live in harmony with the environment. You just have to be conscious, nothing more, nothing less. That is what we have in ancient Africa. Actually, the term religion originated from the Roman Empire. That is where the first mention and description of the term religion can be traced to. Even the Greeks, after they took over from the ancient Egyptians, still do not have a term or a word for religion. They also practice the Kemetic spirituality in the Greek form. So they never had that term. They never know what is religion. Religion started with the inception of the Roman Empire in the 27 BC, I think, by Augustus Caesar. The term is a Latin word. The Romans speak Latin. The Greeks were speaking Greeks. It's a Latin word meaning regale, meaning to bind something, to tie something together, to press, to rebind again, to bind your mind, to bind your spirit, to bind your soul. If you check the etymology of the word religion, that is what it means. So religion simply stands for nothing except binding of the human spirit. So it is a very, very bad thing. And there's a very big difference. There are so many differences between religion and spirituality. And we are going to find out those differences. First of all, religion, the definition alone, the aim, the idea of the word religion is just to bind your spirituality, to control you, to impede your spiritual development and growth. That is all, block your sense of reason. That is all just what it does. And we can see it today in the world. Religion cuts you off of spirituality. Religion is a system of mind control, while spirituality can be classified as a system of freedom. Religion impairs your sense of reasoning, and that is a dereliction to your moral sense of judgment, of thinking. When something comes in from outside of you and try to change your way of life, to appeal to what they think is right for you, that is an insult to your integrity, an insult to your personality, an insult to your mentality. So religion is a very serious problem. It appeals to your emotion rather than your sense of reason. We have two main According to the philosophy of divinity, of creative intelligence, we have two main principles in this planet. We have the male principle and the female principle. In the physical world, we have the male and female. We have the law of duality, day and night, right and wrong, left and right, up and down, good and bad, good and evil, light and darkness. Everything operates in duality. Not that one is evil and one is bad. It's not like that. One is simply a complement of the other, because without the existence of light, you will never know about the existence of darkness, and you will never know about the importance of both of them. So we cannot say one is evil and one is bad. We have the male principle according to the philosophy of divinity, and we also have the female principle. The male principle is the principle of reason, using your mental faculty to make conscious decisions, to make conscious choices, real life choices that are beneficial for your survival and for your existence and for your own physical development. We also have the faculty of emotions that appeal to the sense of love, your sense of general well-being, and your overall outlook of life, caring for yourself, caring for other people, caring for the environment. These two senses need to be balanced, the reason and the emotion. For a man to be complete, for the human being to be complete, both senses, both perceptions have to be balanced. These principles have to be balanced in you. So what religion does that, in order for religion to take over you, they have to destroy your sense of reason. Because for somebody to come over to you and tell you that there is an external spirit or external body that is in charge of your life, in charge of your whole existence, and you have to focus outside yourself to get salvation from that external body. That is taking control of your sense of reason. It is pure manipulation and deception. We, as the human race, of the seed of the human race, are the embodiment of God in flesh. Nobody can claim to have seen God. No spiritual master. Nobody have a record. No scientists. No religious organization have claimed to have seen God. So the notion of God existing, a man in the sky, a sugar daddy in the sky, watching over you, counting your good and bad deeds, is a mental exercise in deceitfulness, and it is a way to destroy the real spirituality of humanity and Africans. So we need to try to identify these facts. There's a difference, a clear difference between religion and spirituality. Religion is simply mind control. Spirituality is freedom. Religion cuts you off from your source. Spirituality links you to your source. So, religion tells you that you need an outside savior, and that savior is controlled by that religion. What they are trying to tell you that you are not created well, you are created in sin. You are created as an inferior specimen. For you to become something in this life, you need the help, the guidance, or the supervision of the third party, the middleman that they have created for you. And for you to gain access to that middleman, you have to give them your life, the service of your life, your money, your wealth, your prosperity, your time in this lifetime. So that is a pure scam. The God of divinity that created the earth, the moon, the stars, you and me, I don't believe that he used money to create the sun and the moon. God does not use money. It is man that needs money. So any religion that tells you that God needs your money to spread his works, to do his work upon this life. God needs your money to live, to survive. That person is a thief. It's a very big thief. Nothing more, nothing less. If anybody tells you like that, you should be able to apply the male principle of divinity, which is your sense of reason and logic. And you should run from such people because they are nothing but criminals, pulpit bandits. And sadly enough, we have so many of them in Nigeria, so many of them in Africa. And these are the people that are taking the continent back, that are holding the spiritual development and progress of our beautiful continent back. That is one of the reasons of this channel, to expose that kind of mentality, to expose that kind of mindset, and to identify what is true and what is a lie and what is fake. So, religion is simply mind control. And why the Romans did this, created this thing called religion. When the Romans came into power, they went all through the earth. They were able to acquire a very large expanse of territories. So it came to an extent they found out that they don't have enough soldiers to hold down and administer these territories. So they think of what are they going to do. Then they came up with a clever idea to subvert the spiritual system of the natives or the people they are controlling and to use it against them. So they took spiritual principles from various ancient spiritual systems, mostly from the African, Egyptian Kemetic system, and they distorted those principles. They plagiarized these principles, distorted it, twisted it, then they packaged it into a book called the Bible, and then they enforced this new doctrine to the whole world. They didn't go about it peacefully. They went on forcing it into people, killing, enslaving people, forcing groups of people to accept this new religion. If you don't accept it, they kill you, they take over your lands. They were very, very brutal about it. If you check the history and origin of religion of the Roman Empire, you will see how they were able to spread this false concept all through the world. They did it to Africa, they did it to the American continent, they almost wiped out the Mexicans and the Red Indians. They exerted their false religion, and that religion is the most dominant religion today. In fact, the Roman Empire is still in existence. The Vatican still controls the world, like it or not. The Vatican is your God. So, religion is a very big problem. There's a clear difference between spirituality and religion. What we aim to decipher at this channel is what is real spirituality, what is practical spirituality, how do we know the right path to take in the spiritual path, how do we apply the real spiritual principles to improve our life and to develop ourselves. So that is the aim of this channel, and we are going to go into that. So I believe in applying spirituality from a scientific perspective. Anything we are doing in spirituality, I believe, must not be cloaked in secrecy. It must be explainable. It must also be something that is easily adaptable as well. Something that appeals to your higher sense of reason. Something that will actually bring prosperity and development into the life of the practitioners. Something that will actually empower the practitioners. So, there are many misconceptions in spirituality, especially in African spirituality. So many misconceptions are there, and people are still practicing these misconceptions till these modern days. So I aim to expose those misconceptions. I'll bring these topics out, and we are going to talk about it. I would like to know about your inputs about these misconceptions, so that we can be able to know what is real and what is fake, so that we can move forward with this topic. So based on that, my next topic for discussion will be on oral sex and menstruation, effects of oral sex and menstruation on spirituality. There is this misconception going around in African spiritual circles that oral sex destroys spiritual practices in Africa. There's also the misconception that if a man sleeps with a woman during her menstruation, he's going to have bad luck or his destiny is going to be destroyed. So men cannot sleep with women during menstruation. Men cannot give oral sex to women, it destroys their spirituality. And I've not heard the other side, if men can also receive, if receiving oral sex by men does not destroy the spirituality of the man or the woman. So I'm going to trash out this topic in the next video. I would like to know more about your inputs. So that being said, in this channel we are going to be trashing out the most difficult topics and subjects that so many people out there are afraid to touch. I will be touching those taboo subjects related to African spirituality. I'll be talking about things that so many traditionalists are afraid to talk about. My main bone of contention is with the traditional practitioners, not even with Christians. We have all known the history of Christianity for a long time, and we have decided to allow those that want to go ahead with the folly to continue doing it. You can't force people to change their lives. You can't force people going on the wrong path. You can't do that. Just that they have free will. Just that I would not like somebody to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong. I can't also tell them what they are doing is wrong. They have free will to go to any spiritual practice. You have a free will to practice your spirituality. Any way you want to practice it. What we can tell them is to allow them to give them more awareness of what we do. Because one of the main problems I've discovered with African spirituality is the secrecy. I'm going to talk about the secrecy in another video. There's so much secrecy, so many things are hidden. And this secrecy, this, how would I say, ID of so many things, it's what is one of the main problems of African spirituality. People don't know what it is. People don't even know what they are doing there. Many people look at it as evil and fetish and dirty. And I don't blame them, because most of the practitioners we see in Africa that engage in African spirituality, their places, their shrines, they are always dirty. So what is the problem for that? We are going to be talking about that in this channel in another video as well. Also too, we'll be talking about what it means, how can these practices benefit our life? How can we use it to improve practical spirituality? What is it useful for? I have been doing research on African spirituality for almost 10 years now. I've been able to discover so many things about it. I have even written a book on African spirituality. In 2008, I came out with a book titled The Interrelationship Between the Evil Forest and Negative Space in Quantum Physics and African Spirituality. I believe that is the first book to be written about quantum physics in the history of Nigeria. I have a link to the e-copy of that book right under this video. So please, after watching this video, check under and click on the link to download the first chapter of that book. I am currently writing a second edition of the book. The first edition sold out 2 years ago. So I have recompiled a second edition which is much more explanatory and explosive. And I would like everybody that is interested in African spirituality to get a copy of this book. Because in this book I outlined many problems about African spirituality. And I was able to develop a scientific chart that you can actually use to categorize and analyze deities in African spirituality. I believe this is the first chart to be ever created or developed by any practitioner. Most African spirituality practitioners, they don't write books. Especially in Africa, they don't write books. They don't even tell people about the practice. Many of them die with their secrets. So if you're practicing something, you cannot speak about it, you cannot tell people, what is going to happen? It's going to naturally die. You and all your secrets will die together, and then nobody's going to benefit from that, and you have not actually made any impact or done anything with the knowledge that God gave you in this lifetime. So it's very, very painful. I would like to encourage more traditional practitioners to be writing books talking about their subject. People need to know. If they don't know that something is beneficial, something is good, you don't tell them, how will people know? So if you are a traditional practitioner, please try to write books, create a YouTube channel, come out and tell people about what you do. I believe people want to know more about these subjects, but the secrecy that is shrouding it and the scams that are around it is so much due to the secrecy. I'm going to be talking about the scams in African spirituality in another video. There are so many topics that I'll be crossing off as we go by. So today is just to differentiate between spirituality and religion. It's very plain and simple. We need to leave religion alone and we need to go back to our spirituality. Spirituality is just a way of life. Just being in harmony with your environment. That is what it simply is. It is not something you can teach. You don't really have to teach. You just need to be aware. Just be conscious of your actions. Live your natural life.